So what does it take to be motivated, connected and confident in today's topsy-turvy world? I can't give you every piece of the answer, but I can tell you about one very simple, repeatable and powerful practice that will help you towards achieving that. In this video, I'm going to tell you how focusing on positive actions, positive interactions and positive thoughts is going to help your brain and you to function better. We call them the 3 Ps of positivity. And this simple practice is one of the key pillars of learning that all my clients master when they're working with me in therapy. It's both what supports them to get better and gives them the tools to stay better. And it really is part of the very secret sauce of Solution Focused Hypnotherapy success, and it's based on the brilliance of how the brain works best. Still not sure? What if I told you it's been part of the solution that helped clients who've been struggling with low self-esteem, relationship issues, stress-related illnesses and symptoms, anxiety, depression and more? If you're even a little bit curious, why not devote the next few minutes of your life to discovering something so simple and effective that you'll give it a try today? But first, a disclaimer. I am neither a neuroscientist nor a medical doctor, so you can't take anything I say as medical advice. I mean, I know you wouldn't, but it's better to be safe than sorry. As I always say to my clients, if you're worried about symptoms that you're having with your physical or mental well-being, please seek the advice of your GP, your primary care provider or your pharmacist. This video is aimed at supporting you towards better functioning. If you need medical assistance, please do seek it. The first time I see clients at their initial consultation, we talk about the power of focusing on the positive aspects of their life. We talk about the reward chemicals that are produced when we act in a positive way, interact in a positive way, and think in a positive way, following the footsteps of our ancestors, for whom this was both a motivator and a coping mechanism. It's so important, I ask my clients to write down those good things at the end of every day, maybe in a little notebook. Now, the reward chemical we talk about the most is serotonin, because it really does have the power to create that feeling of safety and well-being. But we're also looking to think about dopamine for motivation and oxytocin for connection and trust, as well as some other lovely and useful chemicals that will be in the mix when someone's focusing on the positive aspects of their life. To find out more about the 3 superhero neurotransmitters, check out the other videos in this series. But why is it so important to produce reward chemicals in the first place, and how will it help you manage and thrive in your life? Welcome to the wonderful world of what's been good. Our lives and our brains are created through our interaction with our environment. First, there's nature, then there was nurture, and now there's environment. In nature, we have what we're born with and into. Nurture is what happens as our brains develop, and when we're adults and our brains are fully matured at around 25 years old, we're fully in charge of how we shape our brains, mostly through our experiences. Now, whilst we are influenced by our early programming and the nature of how we are when we arrive on the planet, neuroscience has shown us again and again just how remoldable or plastic our brains really are. Each and every day, through what we see, hear, feel, taste, think and do, our brain's processing our interactions with our world. And it's making sense of those interactions. It's discarding some of them at the end of the day. Some it might encode for future use, and some have emotional significance and are encoded even more deeply. What this means is we're changing our brains every single day, even if it's just by a little bit. Nothing stays the same, and this is referred to as brain plasticity. Our conscious attentional focus is like a very narrow beam spotlight, which means we only concentrate on a few bits of information at a time, and the rest of it may as well not exist for all intents and purposes. And interestingly, our beliefs, mood, levels of hunger or tiredness, our life experiences up until that moment, our current concerns and our worldview, and many other factors subconsciously influence what we pay attention to within that narrow beam of conscious attentional focus, which means we tend to see what we expect to see. It's why 2 people can be looking at the same painting in a gallery and experiencing completely different things. It's why witness statements are so tricksy, because they often don't match up. Why one person can write a message in one way and the person can read it in another. So if you're someone who expects the worst out of life, chances are your brain is wired to be alert for things that confirm this viewpoint. So if you're recently broken-hearted, your brain will be alert for everything that reminds you of that person. Equally, if you are new in love, you'll see the world through rose-tinted spectacles. And if you're looking to hit a sales target, your brain is literally wired to pick up those opportunity-making moments. And this is important because if you want to change your life, your mood, or your mindset, those changes start in your brain. By shifting that attentional focus consciously and subconsciously, it slowly reshapes your experience of the world and how you view yourself in it. You're literally going to be rewiring your brain. Now, consciously, we ask you to look out for the small positives, to think about and look out for those little moments of joy and positivity during the day, those little wins. Subconsciously, and this is really interesting, what happens is that the part of the brain called the anterior cingulate cortex, or gyrus sometimes it's referred to, is used in alerting us to the environment and opportunities we're interested in. What it does is it adds looking out for what's been good to the list of things that it scans for during the day. John Ratey, who's a neuroscientist and author of the book A User's Guide to the Brain, has this wonderful metaphor where he refers to the anterior cingulate cortex as the secretary. And we all know the secretary is the one reminding the boss of what they need to do. And because we know that writing things down encodes them more deeply, it really is writing down those small positives. One client told me that whenever she came to write down her positives for the day, she noticed that she really had to mean it if they were to make it onto the list. We assign more significance to those things that we write down, and the brain therefore is more likely to transfer that experience from the day's working memory to the short-term memory, making it more likely we'll remember it. And, as a little bonus, it means you'll have a lovely long list of positives to look back on. So now you know why we have positive neurotransmitters and how your brain can rewire itself over time, just a little bit each and every day. In the next video, we'll break down the significance of each of the 3 P's of positivity and how exactly they help you cope with and thrive each day. And I'll let you know why just think positive is a really unhelpful thing to say. For more information, get in touch to see more videos like this or to get my latest guided relaxations, visualizations, and hypnosis meditations. Just hit the subscribe button and get reminders. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep looking out for what's been good and feel free to share this with the people that you care about. See you soon.